Hello, I'm Dr. Davina Lloyd, the former chair of the CEDAW People's Tribunal Steering Committee. The CPT is now closed. With me today is Clara Guirau, who is a law graduate from Kent University, currently working at Southampton City Council with homeless people. Welcome, Clara.
Hiya.
I wondered, Clara, if you could just start by telling us a little bit about how you came to know about CEDAW and your involvement with the CEDAW People's Tribunal. And for clarity, for those people who do not know at this point, CEDAW is the UN Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. Thank you.
Hi, so I first heard about CEDAW when I undertook my human rights module while I was studying at university. I learned about it through extensive research when I was doing one of my seminars, and I became really interested in what CEDAW was about. It's incredible that I did not know about it before, but once I did start to learn more about it, I actually started volunteering for CEDAW. I now volunteer for CEDAW for over a year. I started as part of the social media team to try and spread awareness about CEDAW, and now I am a legal assistant for CEDAW, where I've taken part in some written work and have worked with other incredible volunteers. And I'm now just really interested in this area of human rights that pertains to women.
And I understand as part of your work, you've produced several reports for the CEDAW People's Tribunal and in fact met the president and went with her to Downing Street with her report. Yes, with other legal assistants. Now, if we can move on to that report, because the report makes several recommendations and it includes a very, very big impetus on the importance of training in CEDAW. Now, you've just said that you only learnt about CEDAW at university. I only learnt about CEDAW much later in life than that. And generally, there is a lack of knowledge about CEDAW out there. Could you give us a flavour of what the president said was needed or what you've picked up from your work is needed?
Yes, so what I've picked up from what we've discussed and the things that we've researched and a lot of the information that we've taken in is that there is an incredible need for a training to be provided for people such as professionals, such as judges or lawyers or even barristers or solicitors, because there is a lack of understanding of how certain issues affect women and how women can be protected to the fullest extent. I remember one of the things that we were involved in was listening to the tribunals, to the court case, to the tribunal happening at the time, and listening to the witnesses that were giving statements in this hearing. And one of the witnesses was Chris McCurley, who suggested that judges have a direct practice direction on how to deal with domestic violence cases and how women are treated during those cases in courts. But this direction is continuously ignored by judges. And I think that that's only one of the examples how training should be provided to professionals and how there should be this perspective of keeping women's safety and women's problems and issues that are mostly based on women and how they should be treated by certain people.
I think it is a problem with CEDAW not yet incorporated into domestic law, but it has proved difficult for those witnesses who spoke to us when they've tried to use it in courts because exactly of what you've said, that lack of knowledge. I just wondered if we could just go back one step further, because in order to get it incorporated into domestic law, we need to address the issue of whether parliamentarians know about CEDAW. What did the president say about that?
Yes, so the president has mentioned that there have been handbooks written for parliamentarians to discuss and also look into in order to get some guidance. However, she has stated that the main issue is that there is no training provided, and that the people or candidates who are applying to be part of parliament should have knowledge of women's issues and should have this sort of training incorporated into their candidacy. And if they don't, that they should not be awarded public funding, because it's such a big issue that women should be into consideration, and that CEDAW should be applied in that way.
Yeah, I think it is just once people realize what a valuable tool it is and how it can protect women and girls in all areas of their lives, maybe that impetus will get going. But it isn't just about the judiciary or parliamentarians, and of course the police as well, with all the issues against dealing with violence against women. They need to be instructed and trained in CEDAW. There are issues as well about wider society, aren't there?
Yes, there really are. And I believe that one of the biggest issues about wider society is the fact that this CEDAW isn't implemented as earlier on as it should be in people's lives. I feel like younger people especially could rely a lot on CEDAW, and because they don't really know about it fully, they can't really rely on it. And I think it's so important that CEDAW should become incorporated even in schools. It should be implemented not only for younger women, but also for young boys, in order for society to fully be able to grow and develop and to work in the way that it should. I feel like as a young girl, I didn't know myself how many rights or how many, rights I had protected for myself, or how many rights I could have been provided earlier on in things such as healthcare, education, or even, as far as climate change. And I think it's so important because it's such a wide variety of issues that we should be talking about it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And to paraphrase another politician, I think what the issue is that we need to emphasize is educate, educate, educate. And if I can refer everybody to the President's report, which is on the CEDAW in Law website, well worth a read, lots of recommendations for everybody out there in civil society, politicians and judiciary. And the more we get knowledge of CEDAW out there, the better for all women and girls. Thank you very much, Clara.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for the work that you've been doing and continue to do